What's up, guys? I'm Gamer MDD3, and I'm here with my brother Caesar.
Hello.
We went to E3 together, and I really wanted to do this video with him, not only because we went to E3 together, but also because he is pretty much the reason why I started gaming. He was the one that that got me into playing games when we were little kids. So I think this should be a good discussion about E3 and the games that we got to play. He got to play some games that I didn't get to play. So we're gonna talk about that, the experience, and what our game of E3 was and stuff like that. So let's get started.
This was my second time going to E3. I'm a very specific gamer. I'm a big Nintendo fan. So I guess that was one of my favorites. Was Nintendo's was their booth.
You're starting to get really big on MOBAs too, right?
Yeah, I'm playing a lot of Heroes of the Storm. I'm a big Blizzard fan, playing Diablo 3. I think they're saving a lot of stuff for BlizzCon.
That's what I thought. I was like, maybe
So,
they're not gonna.
I believe they had some sort of like little room that you couldn't even go into or something, but I didn't really see anything of Blizzard there.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, back to Nintendo. I know they didn't announce big games that everyone was expecting. You know, Legend of Zelda for
For the Wii U.
for the Wii U.
I was hoping for that one.
But they did announce Triforce Heroes, which I'm a big co-op gamer. I love games where I can like sit on the couch and play with my wife, and that's why I love Diablo 3, because that's one of the, especially on the PS4, that's one of the
Yeah.
the
Helldivers too. We had
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
Helldivers
We've
as
played
well.
that. That was really fun.
So to play Triforce Heroes, and you really have to work together. It was me, my wife, and you. We were playing the 3-player co-op, and you don't just go in there and play. You have to
Work together.
You have to work together, and you have to like, you pick me up, and then I pick you up, and then I
Yeah.
have to shoot a bow and arrow, the little crystal or whatever.
Yeah, we
and
have to do things together.
while enemies are attacking us. So we have it's all about teamwork, and I love that. So it's probably something people weren't expecting to see, but for me, I thought it was a great surprise, and I'm really glad I got to try it.
It's a 4-player, right?
No, it's a 3-player.
Oh, really?
It's 3-player.
Oh, I thought it was 4.
I thought it was 4 as well, but it's 3.
And it's only 3DS, right?
3DS, and based on what I've heard, it's gonna be online and local.
Okay.
So I believe me and my wife could be playing local while you're online.
That one was really fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
I struggled a little bit with it just because I didn't know the controls. But once you start getting it down, it's actually pretty funny. Working together and you telling the other person, come over here and like pick me up. I need you to do this and that.
Yeah, it's one of those games where it's gonna cause a lot of arguing. So,
Yeah. What they say if you fall, if someone like wants to mess with you and they drop you or something like that,
Well,
everyone loses.
The way is, your character doesn't have its individual hearts. Everyone shares.
Oh,
the
that's
same
right.
Hearts.
Yeah.
So I believe you start off with like 5 hearts or something,
Mm-hmm.
and those 5 hearts are between all of us. So if you want to mess someone up, you're actually messing up yourself. So if I pick you up and throw you off the ledge, I'm losing a heart as well.
Right.
So I think they purposely did that.
Yeah.
So you won't do that.
So you won't, yeah. Because a lot of people like to mess with people, especially if it's going to be online.
Right.
Like multiplayer, people like to mess with people and like troll people. So if they really want to play the game, it's not smart for them to do that.
Right. So that was cool. I actually thought that was pretty clever that they did that. I also got to try Super Mario Maker.
That's for the Wii U, right?
It's for the Wii U. For those that don't know, it's going to be a game where you're basically the developer of creating a Mario game from
The levels and all that.
from beginning to end. If you want, you can actually. I was talking to one of the guys there, and he said, I asked him, can you also create like the world map, like from the levels 1, 2, 3, all the way down to the castle? And he said that you can even create, a whole Mario game from levels 1.
Oh, wow. I thought it was just one
all
level.
the way to world 8 or something, and then you upload it online, and you just made Super
Mario game.
Super Mario 14 or something. You get to mix and match, you know, icons and sprites and everything from all the previous Mario games.
Mm-hmm.
And I was even watching this one guy playing. He was playing as Link.
What?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
So it's not just Mario.
It's not just Mario. I guess it's also Legend of Zelda stuff.
Nintendo, like classic Nintendo.
Yeah, he was playing as Link. So, I mean, I didn't see him long enough, but I'm wondering if he gets the mushroom, does he grow up to Big Link? I'm guessing.
Oh, that's
he does.
interesting.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Are they all classic though?
No, it's everything. It's from the you know, like the more modern Mario, the new Super Mario Brothers 3D or whatever it's called. So you can mix and match, I guess, different styles of the game.
So it's like this. This is the one, right?
Right, that's the one. So this was something Nintendo was doing, which was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, this was super smart of them to do.
So you had to play specific games, and every time you play a game, you actually get one of these buttons. I believe there was a total of 8 buttons. I was able to get 7. I wasn't able to get the 8th one.
Which is this one?
Yeah, so they made the last 2 buttons a little hard. You had to win at Super Smash Brothers. So it was like, you know, 4 players fighting, and
this is the new Super Smash Brothers, right?
So the winner gets the button. And I played the game like 5 times, and I lost 5 times. I got really close in the last match. But they were using a GameCube controller. And the controller of the GameCube is this funky design that I never liked. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel natural in your hands. You have this big red button, but then all the other buttons around it are really small. Yeah. And I have a feeling that I lost because of the controller. Mm-hmm. If they were using, you know, the more modern controllers that I've seen that the Wii U can have.
Like, they have a Wii U controller that almost looks like the Xbox 360
controller. Yeah, it looks
controller,
like the 360. Yeah. I mean, I think I would have had a better chance, but...
someone else was also saying that they had trouble with the controller, right?
I was talking to someone else, and he was also saying the controller thing. So, you know, I'm not trying to say that I'm a great Super Mario Smash Brothers player, but I'm just saying that I think it was the controller's fault.
Controller,
I wasn't able to get that last button. So
that's not the best controller, especially for this kind of game.
And speaking of controllers, that big tablet thing on the Wii U.
On the Wii U.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. And
it is weird. I mean, I don't know if people would get used to it after using it for so long, but it is so big. I mean, we don't own a Wii U. We've always owned Nintendo systems, but the Wii U is just, when we saw that ginormous tablet, it was like, you pick it up and it's literally bigger than an iPad. I can't even see myself
playing Super Smash like this.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel natural to me.
Well, you had a really good idea about how they should implement the 3DS with the Wii U.
Well, yeah, the 3DS could work as a controller. I think they should. I actually think that would have worked a lot better, but I don't know. I think Nintendo really wants to push this big tablet thing, and I don't think it's working.
There's already rumors about a new system coming out, so...
Yeah, so there's rumors about that. And then actually the tablet is the reason why I don't own the Wii U. Mm-hmm. It's probably the first Nintendo system we actually don't own. Yeah. Because of the tablet thing.
I mean, we could always use the other controllers, but you kind of... with a new system, you kind of want to use the new options that they have, and the touchscreen is cool, but it's so unnatural, I think, in your hands.
It was cool to get to collect these buttons. We got to play the new Metroid, which is somewhat like a soccer game.
That surprised me. I thought it was going to be like an actual campaign type of Metroid game, but it's not. It was like two teams, right?
It was 2 teams of, I believe, 3 versus 3. Mm-hmm. And everyone has, like, you know, their character with a blaster, and they're shooting this ball into the goal. Mm-hmm. I mean,
but it's all like Metroid style. So you've got the little guns hitting this mechanical ball thing.
It was weird. It wasn't what I was expecting, but we had to play that game to get one of the buttons.
2 of them, right? You had to play on Indigo team and Gold,
team. Actually, I didn't know that until like the end of the last day of E3. But you didn't have to win. You just had to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them was you just had to play the game. You get the button. It was cool. But Super Smash, you had to win, and Mario Tennis you had to win, which I did. So I'm missing this last button. So anyone out there that wouldn't mind
sending us that button.
That button right there, I would really appreciate this.
Yeah.
So I would love to frame this and pass it down to my children one day. Those baby children. Tell them what I had to do to get these, because I really don't want to
had to beg for that one online.
I don't want to rely on eBay and pay, the $25 I think they're selling each button. But if it comes down to it, I will do it just to complete this stupid little thing. So, and pass it down to my...
to the little babies.
To my offspring. So, but yeah, by far Nintendo, I think, had the best booth. It was the most colorful. It was the most fun.
And then it was the most interactive. This was a great idea, not only to have people play their games, but it was very interactive. It had people wanting to play the games, and not only for the pin, but eventually they were like, hey, this game's not that bad.
Yeah, so other things I saw there at the Nintendo booth was the new Amiibos coming out, especially the little Yoshis, the little crochet ones.
The yarn ones.
The yarn ones, which they look, I think, were my favorite ones from the...
They're going to sell those?
They're going to sell those. Apparently it's for the new Yoshi game. And for
yarn, what's it called? Woolly. Woolly.
Yeah, Yoshi Woolly something. Like that. But, and I think it's also for Super Smash, but... I mean, most of the people that are buying these things is just to collect them. So
some of those Amiibos, the new ones, look freaking awesome. Dr. Mario, I really want
Dr.
that one.
Mario.
Ganondorf is in there, right? Ganon from Zelda.
See that one. I don't remember if I saw that one. But the ones that actually stood out were the Yoshis, because they're actually a little bit bigger than the traditional size of the Amiibos. So
they're Amiibos.
Yeah, they actually have the little base plate on the bottom.
Oh, I didn't know they were Amiibos. I thought they were just like little.
No, they're Amiibos. I didn't get to play Star Fox. Star Fox Zero, apparently.
I saw that one too. Yeah,
it looks cool. I was never a big Star Fox fan, but
it looks like what I saw of it. It looks like it's just the airplanes, like Star Fox. What was it, 64?
Right. So I mean, it looks. I mean, anyone that likes Star Fox will like this. It's Star Fox. So.
Yeah, it looks just like any other Star Fox. I mean, I don't want to say that any other Star Fox, but it looks like a Star Fox game.
Yeah, I mean, the graphics obviously look, cleaner and stuff, but
I didn't get to play too much in Nintendo. I think you guys were the only ones that played at Nintendo. I just walked around the booth, but even just walking around, because the Nintendo booth, Microsoft, and Sony booth are all in the same hall. The Nintendo booth out of all those three was probably the most lively.
Yeah, definitely. It's the one place I actually spent a good 2 or 3 hours at. So all the other ones I was just basically passing through, but this one,
except for Xbox, it's so hard to move through that.
Yeah, Xbox booth felt very claustrophobic.
Yeah, it was very tight.
All the other booths felt open. Nintendo's especially was very open. So, but Xbox I felt like I was at a graveyard. It was very dark, and I felt like I couldn't move and I couldn't breathe, and it's just...
it's very tight. Their
layout wasn't very great.
Moving on to Xbox, I think it had... I think the game that stood out for me the most was Cuphead.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised they didn't have more stations to play.
I know, right?
I think it was only like 2, maybe 4.
Yeah, I think there was 2, and then 2 on the back. Yeah,
that's it. I mean, the game looks great. It looks like you're playing Steamboat Willie.
It's amazing.
I didn't get to try it, but I did get to watch some of the boss battles, which I'm a little confused. I don't know if the game is
just boss battles.
Boss battles, but I know it's co-op. But I don't know if it's like a side-scroller adventure. I think it's just boss battles, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I got to play a little bit of it, and it's extremely challenging. It's very hard. You die easily. It's not just, avoid what's coming in front of you. when it's shooting in front of you, it breaks things, and then you have to avoid things coming from behind you. So I think it's more of like a challenge type of game. So it's like boss battle, boss battle, boss battle, and see, it tests your skills. I think that's the type of game it is.
Right. So that was cool to see. While I was at Xbox, I also got to try Disney Infinity, the Star Wars edition.
Your favorite.
So yeah, I was excited to see the actual figures of the Star Wars Infinity. Actually, the best thing about that game are the figures.
Yeah,
but that's basically where it stops. They're great toys. They're great collectibles. But the game is not
super limited.
Yeah, you're very limited on what you can do. And
it was actually really disappointing because we got to play, both of us got to play Infinity 2 years ago at E3 when it was just releasing. And we were like, wait, what is this? Like, we saw the toy box mode, and we saw some of the campaigns that come with the expansions. But the toy box mode is the only place where you could really mix and match the characters that you have. Like, say, Jack Sparrow in the Incredibles world, right?
Right. So I think that's what everyone wants. They want to be able to, mix and mash these different characters.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I would like to see, Baymax fighting the Empire.
Yeah.
I want to see, Sully from Monsters Inc. in the universe of,
Big Hero 6 or something.
Or the Incredibles.
Yeah.
I want to see that. But you're limited. Star Wars, the game will only work with the Star Wars characters.
Yeah. Well, tell him your experience. I was blown away by what he was telling me with the Star Wars Infinity.
Yeah, so it was interesting because a couple days ago they said that the only way to get Boba Fett is if you buy the PS4 playset, and that's how you get Boba Fett. But when I was at the Xbox booth, I saw Boba Fett there, and I found that weird. And I even asked the lady there. I said, "What's up with Boba Fett? I thought he was a PS4 exclusive." And apparently, the characters work on multiple platforms. So if I buy Boba Fett on PS4, and my friend happens to have an Xbox, I can bring over Boba Fett. Or even on the Wii, I can do the same thing. So, I found that interesting.
I guess it's just exclusive in how you get him and in actually getting him.
Right. So, but anyways, so I was playing the Battle of Hoth. And they asked me who I want to be, and I said, I want to be Boba Fett. So they put Boba Fett on there. He shows up in the Battle of Hoth. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, cool, Boba Fett is now ready to kill some rebels. But no, I'm fighting the Empire. And I asked the person there, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm fighting the Empire? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, what happens if I put the Darth Vader figure? And she told me, well, you fight the Empire. I'm like, wait a minute, Darth Vader fights the Empire? I'm like, you're telling me it's one-sided? It's always rebels against the Empire, no matter what figure you put there? And she said yes.
So this is the nice guy Darth Vader.
So it defeats the purpose of buying villains if you're still against
you're always
your
playing
own side.
good. Yeah.
I don't see the point of buying Darth Vader. I'm sure
bad.
I'm sure there's going to be stormtroopers and Imperial officers and fighting their own side. That doesn't make sense to me. And so that was a big miss for me. And that you can't cross, characters from other movies or stuff like that. So, and the game felt very light, like it's geared towards like 4-year-olds because the Battle of Hoth did not seem like the Battle of Hoth. It was like Boba Fett against 3 stormtroopers. That's not the Battle of Hoth. And
you had like infinite life, right?
Yeah, like they kept shooting me and I wasn't dying. I'm like, dang, I'm invincible.
What about the X-wing?
Yeah, and there's a level where you're flying through the first Death Star, trying to blow it up, and you know, it's an X-wing. You're inside an X-wing, flying back and forth, and with 2 TIE fighters behind you. That's it. I destroyed the 2 TIE fighters, and I kept flying.
You just clear space.
I'm like, wow. I'm like, this space battle kind of sucks. I was flying an X-wing, and I was like, I don't see an X-wing
on the little
on the pad. I'm like, I asked the person there, and I said, "Are you gonna start selling vehicles?" And she said, "No." And I'm like, "Well, how am I flying an X-wing?" And she's like, "Well, it's just part of the level." And I'm like, "Okay, but you know, Han Solo's on the pad.
Yeah.
Is Han Solo driving an X-wing?" You know, it's just like it didn't work, and I think Disney should have learned their lesson by now. I mean, this is gonna be 3.0.
Yeah.
And they're still not giving people what they want.
That's what I thought. I was like, maybe with all the reviews, with all the people saying that they want more from it, and not just the toy box. Because for those of you that don't know what the toy box mode is, it's like Mario. What he was talking about with Mario Maker. It's you just make a world and that's it, and then you play it, and it's like, what's the point of making a world and playing it myself?
Yeah. So in toy box, that's where everything's free for all.
Yeah.
You can combine this, you can combine that, but you have to create it yourself. So first of all, I'm doing the developer's job, which I don't want to do. I want, you know, a level already made for me. I want to sit down, put this character on, and play in the universe of Star Wars. But no, I have to create it. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, that's,
you know, it's just, I mean, who has time for that?
It's such a shame.
Maybe a 4-year-old does. So this is why I'm thinking this game is geared towards
little kids.
Yeah. And you know, the characters look amazing. Boba Fett looks amazing. When it comes out, you know, if Boba Fett's only going to be exclusive to the PS4, then I'm probably never going to own that figure. They're great figures to collect.
Yeah. It's
kind of like what people are doing with the Amiibos.
Yeah.
People are buying them to collect them. They're not really using them in the game.
Because they look amazing.
It's like, I think that's what's going to happen to Disney Infinity.
It's a waste of technology, a waste of their money. It's just they really should have implemented some other mode to Disney Infinity.
Yeah, and speaking of games like that, the most exciting thing I saw at E3, I mean, to me, and Lego Dimensions was by far my favorite thing of E3.
It was very good. It was one of my favorites as well.
I mean, you when you hear about it on a website or on paper, it sounds cool, but then when you actually see it,
I couldn't believe it.
What they're gonna do, it's quite amazing what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
We saw the presentation. I actually saw it twice because I was so excited to.
There wasn't that many people there, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's very interesting to me that it wasn't more hyped up at E3.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing is what I want in that style of game. They're actually doing the mix and match in any world, in any way, any combination.
Yeah.
So their little pad, you actually have to build it. You build this little portal.
It's all Lego.
Legos, and you have this pad.
And it looks like the Stargate.
So the starter pack comes with Wildstyle, Gandalf, and Batman. And it comes with the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Okay? And apparently the Batmobile, you can
customize
it, I think, into 3 different vehicles. So the pad not only supports 1 character, 2 or 3, it supports 7. And not just characters, but vehicles as well. So that's where I was blown away.
Yeah.
You can put the Batmobile on there. You can put 6 other figures on there. So
and you're not limited. This is all campaign. This is all a story, and you could bring in, like, they had Batman, Gandalf, Wildstyle in Oz, and then they just brought in Marty McFly, and I'm like,
right. So they're doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool because the characters were in Oz, and there was a part where like they go to the flowers and they fall asleep, so Batman can't even walk through it. So basically, what do you have to do? Well, let's bring in the Batmobile.
Yeah.
You bring in the Batmobile in there, and Wildstyle starts driving the Batmobile and breaks down the flowers. So it really makes you think. And another thing about that game that I really loved was the Portal franchise, how they're bringing it into Lego. I mean,
we're talking about Portal, like
Portal,
the game Portal, Valve.
So it's like playing a whole new Portal game in Lego style.
And GLaDOS, they
to hear her talk again, it was so cool. And this is where I think the game Portal is very clever, because it also lights up. Like if you have Batman on the left side, and there's like some sort of obstacle you can't achieve, the pad will start blinking.
Yeah, it has lights.
It's like color coordinated. So Batman will be on the blue side, and if you want to cross over like a river of fire, you have to put him over on the right side to the red platform. So it causes you to interact with the actual pad as well. So I thought that was really cool how that works.
Yeah. And they also have like these little special blocks that you could collect, and they each give you a special ability. Like the purple block will open a purple portal in Portal, not just the blue and orange. There's a purple portal, and GLaDOS is actually talking about it. She's like, this isn't supposed to happen and stuff like that.
Right. I'm actually guessing there's multiple ways to solve a puzzle.
Yeah. So,
because there was a point in there where they used the portal to bring in Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
Homer Simpson to break down a wall in Portal, and like GLaDOS is like freaking out. It's like, what's going on here? The only downside to Lego Dimensions is that they won't get the Star Wars or Marvel franchise because of Disney, because they have Disney Infinity. They would be destroying their own game basically, but regardless that those two big franchises won't be there. They have Ghostbusters, Back to the Future. This is everything I grew up with.
Yeah.
To see this in Lego format is like a dream come true.
It was amazing.
So seeing the game, the presentation, I actually felt like a kid.
Yeah.
Wanting to play this as soon as possible. And actually the game comes out a day after my birthday. So just in case.
He keeps telling us that.
Yeah, it comes out soon.
I'm like, okay, that's good.
I am curious about how the co-op works.
Yeah.
Apparently, I read somewhere that it will be online. So, and
nice.
I think it supports up to 4 players.
Oh, really?
So,
because you could bring in, maybe even more.
No, I think I read it was 4, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that.
And each character has their own abilities. Like Gandalf had the magic. Batman has like his little gadgets and stuff. So each character gives you a reason why you would be that character. It's not just like, but there's also different ways of solving the puzzles. So if you're like, oh, well, I'm just going to use Marty McFly, and he's got his little guitar and he uses it to like throw sound waves at stuff.
Right.
So each of them have their own abilities.
Like in the Portal universe, you don't necessarily need the gun to make the portals.
Because they do have her, I think Shell is I believe her name from Portal. They do have her in Lego format, so you can bring her in.
Like if you bring her in, I think you can solve the puzzles more quickly maybe. But if you don't have her, I think it looks like you can still solve the puzzles in a different way.
Yeah.
So that's why they're giving you multiple options to play this game. So that I'm really, really excited for that, and I think that was my favorite thing of. It was
very cool.
Favorite game, and I mean it's a shame it wasn't there to play, but at the same time the excitement of just seeing how it works was enough for me. So. So
yeah, I can't wait for that game.
I guess the biggest game there that everyone was dying to try, including myself, was Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront. So I originally saw it at Star Wars Celebration. I went to the panel and was super hyped up. When I went to the Star Wars Celebration panel, I didn't own a PS4. When I saw what Battlefront's gonna
the trailer,
I remember I told my wife, I'm gonna buy a PS4.
And I remember he texted me too. He's like, I'm gonna get a PS4.
So now I'm enjoying it, playing
other
Diablo
games.
3 and
Diablo 3 and that's it. And Helldivers.
Which I'm really enjoying. My hype for Battlefront was really high. And when I heard I was going to be playable at E3, then we had to do it. We had to play it.
That was the first place we went when we got into E3.
Yeah, it was the
first
place, and it was probably the longest line. It was line after line after line. So you wait in this massive line, then you get into a shorter line, and then you get into another shorter line. So it's like 3 levels of waiting. Yeah. Until you finally get in.
It's big.
And it's Rebels versus Empire.
It's the Hoth battle, the one that they showed off in the EA press conference.
So you sit down your little station. And
but the cool thing was your shirt.
Oh, that's right. So
Yeah,
I was
shirt.
wearing a Stormtrooper shirt that I got at Star Wars Celebration.
The Battlefront
That's
one.
a Battlefront. We were in line,
Yeah.
in the regular line, waiting, when I guess one of the guys handing out...
One of the devs, yeah.
Yeah, one of the devs was handing out
Fast passes.
fast passes to, like, I guess, bypass that line and into another shorter line.
Yeah.
So he sees my shirt and he's like, "Hey, you got that Star Wars Celebration? Here's a fast pass."
You give it to all of us.
So
we
he
were
goes
like,
on.
"Yay!"
Cool, fast pass. So our time was between 12:45 and 1:45, and so that was pretty cool. I'm like, "Oh, cool. We're gonna skip this massive line."
Yeah.
We go over there and we stand in this other
In another
medium
line,
which still took a long time.
Yeah, that's where I was with Lady
So-
Insanity Ash, and we unfortunately had to get out of the line. They stayed to try it out, so they got to play it. We got to play it later.
Yeah. So I finally got to play it. And thankfully I was the Empire, which I'm always for the Empire.
I was the Empire too when I got to play
I
it.
hate the Rebels.
He's a bad guy.
I don't like the Rebels, and I'm always the Empire. So on any Star Wars
Well,
game,
show him your little wrist thing.
yeah. So I got right here, Partners in Crime,
He's got Darth Vader on it.
Darth Vader wristband, but I'm always for the Empire, always.
I think
And
it's geared toward a very specific type of gamer.
Yeah.
Multiplayer type of gamer. I know it has different modes, and I asked how many modes it was going to have. They said they weren't going to reveal that yet. But at E3 they had that large mode, that large multiplayer mode, and the co-op mode outside, which we didn't try. But out of what we played at that multiplayer mode, it's like it's a multiplayer game.
Yeah, other than the pretty graphics, which it
Yeah, they're
looks
very
like
nice.
you're playing the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah.
It's nothing like the Disney Infinity's Battle of Hoth.
Right, like
which-
cartoony and all
Yeah,
that.
this one I felt like I was playing the Battle of Hoth.
Yeah.
Everything looked amazing. But as far as gameplay goes, it was just a typical shooter to me, and I guess I was so hyped up for this game that my expectations were off the charts.
Yeah.
And when you actually play it, my expectations just lowered
Dropped a little bit, yeah.
a little. And I'm actually glad I got to play it.
Yeah.
Because now, I know what they're going for, and I hope I'm surprised still with other modes that they're
Yeah.
gonna do.
Because they do have a plan. They do have plans for single player campaigns and stuff like that. You could play with AI and stuff. And then they do have that DLC that's going to tie to episode 7.
Oh right.
With
the
how-
Battle of the Jakku or something like
Yeah, with how the Star Destroyer in the trailer, how it crashed there.
that. Yeah, so I can see what they're doing and stuff. But, I mean, would I buy the game? I feel like I feel like I want to rent it first and like
Yeah, I want to try all the modes.
and feel and know all the modes before I actually buy the game.
I mean, for those of you that love multiplayer games, like those Call of Duty multiplayer games and stuff where you play online, I know people are really big on that. You're gonna love this game, but especially if you're a Star Wars fan. But if you're not really into multiplayer, you probably will feel like us, where it's like, okay, well, what else is there? Did you get to fly any of the vehicles?
No, I couldn't.
I didn't know how
I couldn't
either.
figure out how.
It doesn't
Like-
say anything like on the screen where you're just like, what do I
Like
do?
they throw you into the Battle of Hoth, which
Yeah.
is nothing but chaos.
Which is fine, which is good because you feel that chaos and you hear all the shooting and everything.
I think we were playing for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
For 10 minutes, I was running around like an idiot.
I
Not knowing what
know
to
too.
do.
I was like, what do I do?
The last 5 minutes, I actually realized I have a map. And then I figured out how to change into third person, which made it easier for me.
Yeah.
And then I started getting the hang of it. And then the demo was over.
And then it was over.
So that's why I feel like I need to play more of it
Yeah.
to know if I'm going to buy this game or not.
Yeah.
Um,
I thought you were going to have like objectives, like checkpoints right there telling
well,
you.
there is objectives.
You
like-
just hear the person say, protect the walker. And you're like, how do I protect the walker? Do
Yeah,
I
and
just
then,
kill the rebels?
you have to like take down their communication, satellite communication.
Yeah.
And when I found out I had a map, I was like, oh, so I have to go this way. And for the most part, I was just running around and admiring the snow because it
I know,
looked
me
like
too.
snow. And I got inside the you know, the hangar, and you could see
I did that too. I went in there and I was like, oh, look at an X-Wing's in here.
Yeah, I went up to the X-Wing. I'm like, oh, cool. It looks like they blasted the X-Wing on the side, and then I'm all admiring, and then someone from behind shoots me. And I'm like, I was looking at that. I was like, I wanted to see the detail on the X-Wing, which is there. So the game does look gorgeous. It's really cool. So
and it's still in early stages. I think they said it was beta, or I don't know what, but they're not. That the game is still gonna look even better than that.
Yeah, and I believe when I was walking the PlayStation floor yesterday, somewhere in the back they also had another Battlefront set up, and it looked like it was like some sort of Tatooine map.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that was co-op. I'm not sure. I just glanced at it and I'm like, oh, that's cool. It's Tatooine.
I think they would really benefit in releasing a beta for people to try it out with different modes. I think that would help out a lot. So hopefully they do that.
For the most part, I did like it. But I think it's too early for me to decide if I'm going to get it or not. So
that's pretty much what we got to play at E3. I got to play less than he did because I was running around trying to get interviews and stuff like that. But he got to play most of it. I think we experienced more, at least I did, from my previous E3s this time around, because it wasn't as crazy as previous E3s. So it was a lot of fun. I really love this E3. There was a lot. I think it was record breaking, this E3. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Again, he's missing this pin right there. So if you guys have it, let me know.
If anyone has it, I mean, it's not for me. It's for my future children.
Yeah,
it's to pass
for the children.
You know, it's for the babies.
It's for the children. Do it for the children.
You gotta think about the babies. So, yeah.
Thanks for doing this video with me.
Of course. It's fun.
Yeah, hopefully we could go to E3 together again next year, and we'll storm the floors again. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Hello?
Testing. Boy.
Hello? 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 What's wrong with you guys? I wear pixels like this.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah,
Whoops.